Good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome everybody to the September meeting of the Laconia Zoning Board of Adjustments. With that, please call the roll.
Okay, Mike Delavecchia.
Here.
Steve Bogert.
Here?
Lori Gibbs.
Here.
Gail Ober.
Here.
Roland Mayhew.
Yes.
Mike Foot is absent. And I'm sitting in for staff.
And as a side note, if we could turn everybody's phone to silent.
I'm videoing chat with my son-in-law because I'm here in representing them, so he wants to hear the meeting. Is that okay?
As long as it's quiet.
As long as he's quiet. You have to be quiet, Rob. Okay, I'll put him on mute.
Do we have a written authorization? Or do we care? Because it's a relative?
Well, we ain't get there yet.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
Okay, next is the minutes. Everybody have an opportunity to review the minutes and stuff?
Yes.
Do we have any, before we go to minutes, let me make a quick housekeeping. Gail, you and Mike are both going to be voting members on all issues before the board tonight, please.
Okay.
Thank you. Let the minutes indicate that.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, with that being said, the minutes need any additions, corrections?
I move we accept the minutes as written.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? There being none, all those in favor? Yep, passes. We have minutes. Okay. And boom, boom, boom. Now we move into public hearings, possible consideration and vote. Note the purpose of this agenda section is for the board to have a presentation from the applicant and a public hearing for the public to provide input. The board may also deliberate the application, decide, and conduct a final vote at this time. The first application and the second application are, oh, by the way, just real quick, anybody here for the Pleasant Street application, there's been a formal request to move that to the next meeting.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Patrick Wood, representing Paul Duggan. As I indicated in my letter, Mr. Duggan is out of the country tonight, but will be available for I believe, the October 21st meeting of the zoning board. So we'd request that it be continued until that meeting.
Okay, we will carry it over because we never opened it, so we'll just move it to that meeting and make it last
Yep.
on the agenda.
Well, you can make it first. I think we're here. So I have faith in the board.
You sure?
All here tonight, Patrick.
I don't know, Pat.
We're all here tonight. Of course, my client isn't, but you know, that's the way it
So you
goes.
want it first then? Because I did
Sure, that would be
also.
great if we can. And then-
Okay, just
Thank you.
put it first then.
Yep, chronologically, you're first, so.
All right,
All
thank
right.
you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Okay, so we have two applications before us, both from the same applicant. There is, I'll read them both, we'll discuss both, and I have the applicant come forward and tell us what we're doing for them, and ask them to explain what they need, and we'll go from there. Okay? Okay. Applicant is 0028 SC 17 McKinley Road. Applicant is requesting a variance from Article 6, Section 235-414 to allow for addition of a detached accessory dwelling unit, ADU, on a lot that does not meet lot size. Lot size requirement is 10,000 square feet. The existing lot is 9,147.6 square feet. The second applicant is 0028 special exception, same address, variance for detached ADU. Applicant requests special exception from Article 7, Section 235-41A to create a detached accessory dwelling unit. Would the Applicant, please come forward, introduce yourself for the record, and tell us how we might help you. And I hope you're not gonna just hold that up
No,
like this.
no,
and
no, no,
while-
no. He just I'm
That's
here for
gonna
my.
be very distracting.
No, okay, I can just do it this way then. I'm here for my son-in-law and daughter. They're at 17 McKinley. My name is Donna. And this is their contractor, Dave. We're
Okay.
new with this, so I have no idea. They want the,
Yeah, go ahead.
okay, so they're asking for that variance so they can have that separate dwelling because it is their only dwelling. They live at a boarding school, so it's their primary house. And they want extra room for family when we go up, basically.
So, what are they gonna do with this again?
Come on, Dave. He's their contractor.
You want to add, put an addition onto the existing garage that's there right now.
Would you introduce yourself for the
Oh,
record?
Dave Drone.
Oh, okay. He's also on the cover sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's a dwelling already there, right?
So,
Yeah.
you know, the garage is already there, they just want to put an addition 14 by 21 onto the garage, but they want to keep it separate from the house. That's-
Is that for the office or the apartment?
Excuse me?
You're asking for an office space and for an apartment. Which one are you talking about when you say you're adding to the garage? Is that going to be
There's,
the office?
like I said, there's an existing garage there, 12 by
Right.
22, and we're going to put a 14 by 21
And
off to the left side of
What's
the,
what's that going to be used for?
just for people coming up to visit and stuff, to stay in.
In an office too.
And where's the office
Well,
going to be?
The
In an
office-
office too, in the corner of it.
The office is gonna be in the existing garage that's there now, to the back side of it.
The dual purpose.
Do you have a map? I gave you,
No, I got a schematic here.
you wanna see this, or,
I went up and looked at that yesterday.
huh?
I went up and looked at that house yesterday,
Oh, did you, yeah?
and there doesn't seem to be a lot of land in there.
A lot of
Where are
what?
you going to park all these cars that are going to be coming in?
It's got a big driveway, you can park at least 6 cars in that driveway right now.
Yeah. He works from home. He works from home. So when he's up here, he works from home, so he needs a private space. But in that driveway, you can put
At least 6
at
cars.
least 6 cars, and we've done it.
He works from home, but he lives in,
He lives in Kent, Connecticut, you're right. But this is their primary, this is what they own, they don't own the house in Connecticut. So, they come
Yeah.
up here for the summer, and he works from home, he can work modularly. So he needs an office to work from, because he's got 3 kids in a log cabin, and you can't work with that. So he needs an office, so that's where they wanna put it, and then they wanted to add extra living, bedrooms and stuff, because I come up with, and their brother comes up, she wants extra space, and the kids are getting older. But just for the family.
will people be coming to this office to,
No, he works from home, no. He does everything,
On the
on the
computer.
computer, internet, business calls and stuff. No one comes up to the office, because the main office, or the main thing, I think, is in New Jersey.
Okay. So if I understand you correctly, he needs a small room in this accessory dwelling unit so that he can separate himself
Yes.
from the hubbub of family and allow himself to get some work
Yes,
done remotely.
thank you. I'm sorry, I'm so nervous, I haven't figured.
That's okay.
Yeah.
No, it's a little intimidating at
Yeah,
first.
yes,
We
that's
do
exactly,
understand.
that's exactly it. Because
Okay.
in the house itself, with 3 kids and a dog, you cannot carry on a professional conversation.
Yes. There won't be nobody going to the
No one's
office.
going in the office.
Just
His-
him
he's-
himself.
Yeah, his people he's talking to are like in New Jersey or New York, so he's doing webcam conversations from his office. He does it at home.
it's just that, one of the things I noticed up in that Pendleton Beach, that whole area, Pendleton Beach area, McKinley Road, it's becoming very, very congested. I don't know, over the years, there's been a lot of building going on in there, and it seems like
There, on that street, there,
Not on McKinley, there.
no,
really-
McKinley Street, nothing.
It's always been the same houses that have been there for a long time, as far as I know.
This is the little log house with the little log garage, right?
Yes, yes.
Maybe off, what's the street on the right-hand side of McKinley? Is that-
Behind us, that dirt road,
Yeah.
those houses are all old too.
Those are all old, yeah.
Okay, so
Outside of the mansion that's going way, way down on
Maybe the
other
ones
end.
out where John Remington owned, maybe those are houses you're talking about, the new ones.
Remington has put in,
I don't know, but I drove all the way through there. And I went into all the little side streets and that whole area up
Oh,
there.
you're not talking.
Talking about the whole Pendleton Beach area,
Oh, the whole area, okay, not
not
McKinley
just
itself.
McKinley Street,
Okay.
but McKinley fits right in with the rest of it too.
Yeah, but those houses have always been there for a long time.
And it's all just, isn't it all neighborhood and stuff? I don't think they have beach rights. I think they're just, I know Wendy doesn't have beach rights.
No, I'm not sure on that.
So
Well, I
what's,
looked at the
what's
deed,
the
it does
size,
say
what's
it
the
does.
dimensions of the main
Who's
house?
that? She does, on 17 McKinley?
What was that?
The dimensions of the main house.
The main house?
Excuse me.
They're not on here.
32 by,
Yeah, that's what it wants to put on.
it's got 32 by 32, I believe.
But the thing is, this is a private driveway here. They have to come in
It's
here.
lofted upstairs, half of it's lofted.
Oh, it's not on here,
I
but
thought
It says
it originally
32
went all the way
by-
back here, but
I
apparently
believe that's
they
what it
don't.
says, isn't it?
the,
Here.
it's got an
32,
8-foot.
right?
This is 32.
This is the tax
Or
card.
36.
Oh, 32 by 36.
It's 20, it's, well, 32 including the porch.
32 wide, 36.
Well, we don't include the
Oh,
porch,
okay.
right?
Because that-
For
that's-
figuring the
that's- I mean, that's-
dimension
I-
that the accessory
it's a-
dwelling can be? If
At
they're
least
gonna
that's
make
the-
a bedroom in
That's the way
it?
I would read that.
You
is
plan
that
on
this is
making a
the
bedroom
house.
in that accessory unit?
It's not gonna be a separate bedroom, it's gonna be like an open area as you walk in. But there is gonna be attic trusses for the second floor, or whatever you wanna call it.
okay, and I do see here, in what would be just off the existing building, appears to be a small bathroom.
Off the farmer's porch in the back you're talking about, off the main house?
I'm looking at.
That's what we're here for,
shower,
because
toilet.
where the house and the new addition goes, there's only 33 inches between those two. And if you put a set of stairs in there, you won't have no access to the backyard. That's what we're trying to get away from.
It's a sink and counter, I mean,
No.
I've had a really hard time.
Yeah,
missing
What do you
it.
say you're gonna do with the
Very hard
second
time.
story of the barn, of the garage?
Let's meet code.
Is that's where the
With the addition connected to the garage, it'll be
The addition
26
would be
wide, so we're gonna put
4
attic trusses.
feet.
If the
Is there gonna be an
addition-
outdoor-
it needs to be At least 300 feet.
side staircase,
No, inside.
Doesn't it?
how are you gonna get to
No,
the
less
second
than
floor?
300
In-
shall not be
inside
less than
staircase.
300 and shall not
I got a
exceed
platform over on the backside, the stairs going up to the
be at
attic
least
trusses.
300 square feet.
But it can only be a certain percentage of the main house.
If the primary house is 300.
Do you have this plan here?
Yeah, well, I
The
have
one I drew,
this,
the one I drew up?
which I found very difficult to read myself. But it says, it shall not have more than 2 bedrooms, shall not be less than 300 square feet, shall not exceed 750. And that's for a basic home. If the primary home is more than 3,000 square feet, then it can exceed the 750.
There's too
But
much
it
here.
has to be at least 300 square feet, the accessory dwelling unit. So if you're putting on a 14 by 21, if this is the unit, 14 by 21,
Yep,
What
it's
is-
294.
that's 294. So it's 6 feet under, 6 square feet under.
If you include the office in the calculation, that's another 16 square feet, it pushes
But
you.
the office is
Well, it's
part
direct, it is
of-
attached.
Well, the whole shed's attached, but that's a backside of the shed, they said. It's not being an addition, it's they're cutting up the shed to make,
It's in a garage, is what it is right now, existing garage.
The offices
No,
are,
'cause
it's
she
it's
says they're
part of
just
the
gonna put a-
existing
Well,
garage.
even if they're separating it from the main part of the garage, and it's attached to that living unit, it is living space, it's an office, I mean, it's being separated, it's no longer a garage. That would, you'll have to take, you can take.
Even
So
though
we're
that's
taking-
on in the existing building?
I mean, it would be the same thing if you had an existing garage and converted part of it to an accessory dwelling unit. just, you know, like the second floor, whatever, it's the same concept, it just happens to be the back portion of an existing building. And they're adding on to finish the
So
unit.
we're gonna add all of this then?
So you'd have
Because the
290
whole thing,
You can call the whole thing, so it's 294
including the
plus 60.
storage, because the storage is attached too. So are we,
No, you don't include the storage space. You don't,
that
you-
don't
well,
make
that's,
no
that's
sense,
the existing
because it's
garage.
attached also.
I'm very
It's not living
confused.
space. An office would be considered living space if they're using, is that storage part of the existing garage and it's being,
It's there now,
being
yep.
used as a garage?
Well, if I take the garage door out, it's not considered the garage no more, right?
I didn't say that.
It's a question for you.
Is this just the garage?
See, this is the existing structure right here.
We're gonna put a French
How
door,
many-
6 foot,
People are you planning to have sleep in this?
excuse me?
How many people are going to be
It
sleeping?
shows just this.
Just family.
No, how many? Not just to say family is not enough, because you can't have
One-
more than 2 bedrooms.
Oh,
They're not even gonna have
They're not even
bedrooms.
gonna have bedrooms, so I wanna know how many people are going to be.
maybe a family of 5, my son's family of 5,
Garage door, huh?
3 kids.
That's only, what, on the weekend? is it?
Yeah, it's only on the weekends, it's nothing, yeah.
well.
Or me.
That's the biggest bedroom. This is the bedroom.
The kids are getting older, she wants to make sure that, you know, they can have friends come up, you know, a couple, two kids or whatever.
I'm just so,
We're not, she's not renting it or anything, it's just for
well,
family.
that doesn't,
Office is because he works from home all summer.
Well, that I understand.
Okay.
But if we approve this, it goes with the house. If he sells the house, now there's an approved accessory dwelling unit that automatically goes with the home if he
Yes.
sells it and the next owner has it. And so there needs to be, the limit needs to be enforced. If it's 2 bedrooms,
Right.
then it seems to me the implication would be, I don't know, maybe max 4 people?
So what are you saying, you wanna
Okay.
divide the first floor
Yeah.
into bedrooms, is that what you're saying?
I mean, I just envision.
You could limit it to the
That's
number
what
of
they want.
bedrooms, you can, you know,
You can limit the number of bedrooms.
which you have by
But if
ordinance.
he's, yes, but if they're not dividing it off and they're just,
I guess my one confusion is, and I'll read this out loud, this is from the zoning code. It says, "The ADU shall contain fully self-sufficient living quarters consisting of adequate sleeping, bathing, and eating accommodations." Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
In order for us to approve this under the ADU, I am interpreting that as you need a bathroom and a kitchen. Even if it's just a little galley kitchen.
It's
with
right on, a bathroom in the kitchen is right on there.
Okay, that's what I asked before, and you
I
looked
didn't hear you
confused.
say that.
well,
Yeah,
that's
I'm
what I'm
sorry.
still looking,
Okay.
where's the
There's a
bathroom?
bathroom, there's like a
There's a
kitchen with
T
a
and an
sink.
SH in a square
This
area.
must be the kitchen.
Down at the bottom of your page, Ori?
Where's the bathroom?
See at the bottom? They have a valet. All right, look at the bottom of your page.
You walk in the,
I'm
fr-
looking
you
at
walk in the
bottom
front
of
door,
it.
take a right, the bathroom's
State
right there.
Farmer's Porch.
No, I'm
Right
I'm
here.
up a little bit, I'm sorry. You see where
Existing
it says
farmer's porch, look
shower,
up, it says
toilet?
new deck.
Can I walk over there and show you?
Oh, I
Huh?
see that.
Can I come over there and show you?
Yeah,
Can I come over there and show you? Yeah?
right,
It's-
I see.
It's right there in the center along the front.
It's on this, in the center
Right
along
here.
the front.
That's the bathroom?
Oh, geez.
Yeah, it says toilet,
I
shower,
see, I
valet,
see,
I'm
okay.
guessing that's a sink,
Okay, that's
like
the
a little
bathroom.
corner sink unit?
Even if we include,
Okay.
Walk in that door, the bathroom, the kitchen's over here.
And the kitchen shares a,
Oh,
Planning
okay.
on doing was putting like, maybe a pull-down bed or something, or just like a bunk bed or something. You know, do you want to divide that off from the kitchen, is that what you're trying to tell me?
No, we just need to make sure that
But,
those 3
you know,
things, those
toilet should
those
be-
things exist.
that's
Yeah,
there.
they're right there.
Okay,
They're right there.
that's
yeah,
all.
shower.
The stairs go up to the attic trusses, which are 40 pounds per square foot, and the attic trusses, which would be, you know, and that area up there is 14 feet wide by 7, 6 foot
it's
tall.
588 if I just took the whole square.
Yeah.
How many bedrooms are
Yeah,
there?
it does, and if you,
Excuse me?
how many bedrooms?
That's under,
even if you
Well,
just,
that's under 700.
even if you just.
This is gonna be the attic trusses there.
Well,
10,
since
which
they
would
already
say-
moved into
but
here, so
already, if there
Where are the
was a
bedrooms?
kitchen as well.
Mr. Chair, we have too many
Upstairs,
conversations.
it's gonna be like a sleeping
Can't
area
blow
upstairs.
anybody.
I don't know if you
Okay,
guys, did you
if
guys
y'all
get
would,
that?
yes, I got it.
Are there
Thank you.
windows up here?
Yeah, there's gonna be a window on each gable,
Okay.
egress windows. You got-
So there's gonna be 2 bedrooms.
They just,
You want that?
Where are the bedrooms?
really, so there were no bedrooms.
Need the back before it leaves, that's all.
Where are the bedrooms?
up in the attic,
And
over
yeah,
over the
they're
porch.
not on this plan here.
They're on this
Oh.
plan,
Oh,
up there.
In front of the fire.
so, now I'm really confused. So the,
You get a bathroom, a kitchen downstairs, a living room.
okay, so this is going up as
Yeah,
well?
It's gonna be
Yeah.
attic trusses, yes.
Add, okay.
The second bedroom has no egress.
This isn't a place where people live.
The office is on the garage.
Is there a living room where people can congregate if there's a
Yeah,
bad
that's what
day?
the first floor is, the kitchen, the bathroom, the living room area.
Oh, so
That's
that,
living room.
Then you got the office off to the, there's gonna be a dividing wall between that and the office and the storage area. That's why I wanted to ask if that's gotta be 5/8 fire code, does that wall from the storage area to the bathroom side, does it have to be 5/8 if it's
Well,
not
we're
a garage no
the
more?
ones who
We're
determine
not the
code.
building.
yeah, we
code.
don't, yeah,
You
we.
would have to deal with
you
the
would have
city
to run
on
this
that.
by the city. You would have to run this by the code enforcement
Oh,
officer and the
okay.
fire
That's not us.
department.
That's what I was
That's
asking, if
not
you
us.
took the garage door out, is it still considered a garage? You don't know that?
Oh, that,
It can be utilized as a parking space. See, if you have a bedroom, you gotta have so many
what's throwing me off.
parking spaces for each bedroom.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a lot of it's just-
It just seemed like a lot
Put it
going
this way,
on.
when they come up, for the people that come up there and stay in the house, are gonna be the same people that's gonna be going in there. So the parking is there. You know, you could fit easy 6 cars in that parking lot, in that driveway, easily.
How many did you-
Six.
Six?
Easily 6 cars in there.
Bumper to bumper, back? So that if the person in here wants to get out, you're gonna move 2 cars for
Well,
them.
put it this way,
Well, that's
Bob's
their
truck was there, and I backed my truck behind
Their
Bob's truck.
problem.
My brother Wayne pulled in with his double-wide pickup truck, and he was behind me. And there was still plenty of walking room. That's 3 pickup trucks, so.
And
The measurements are right there, the set, you know, you get the plot plan right here, so.
the variance is just for really the size of the lot and this particular unit because it's detached.
I understand.
That's my understanding of
Understand
this.
that. I just wish that the questions had been answered more.
You got,
This is-
you got
this is
32
ours now.
feet there, and
Yes,
it goes up to,
yes, he submitted it.
you got 32.
So we gotta add that square footage into it?
You got
for the second
57
Yes,
feet.
Second floor needs to be added. So what was the total square footage of the second floor?
18 by,
14 by 21.
14 by 20, well, you've got the
Well-
stairwell. 14 by 21.
294, right around that. But the driveway itself is 57 feet long, so.
It exceeds the max. 700 square feet's the max.
750 square feet.
750.
It's
7
still,
feet from here to here.
exceeds the max.
From here to here.
Because I got 588 on the first floor and 294 on the second floor.
How's that?
And storage is gonna be included in it because it ain't gonna remain that way. Because they've already taken a door down and they've intruded the bathroom inside there. And I'm not about to sit there and quibble over it, because the last time we quibbled over it, the people who said it was storage built a bedroom in it. So it's gonna,
Well, that's my same concern about the office. It'll be office when he's working and somebody will be sleeping with him.
This is the
in it.
yeah,
existing.
third bedroom.
It'll be a third.
Well,
bedroom.
that won't happen.
Oh, this is.
Oh, that's, you,
Well, let me put it this way, while we own it, that won't happen,
That's
Right.
gonna be new.
because he needs
this
an
is-
office to work from.
Let's see the picture here. Here's the picture. This is that.
So have we decided on the total square footage of this?
I have. I have.
Okay. What did we come up with? Right, the whole second floor of this went,
Well,
I
it's.
couldn't
it's-
tell from.
It's gonna be.
882 square feet.
It's essentially 2 floors now, so.
Yes.
882?
Square feet.
At 852, but let me,
Huh?
let me just double check my math. I had 852, but let me just recap.
But even
Any way you
852
look
is
at it,
still.
it's still
Right,
over.
no.
852 is 100 over.
So it's still over.
And the house itself is not more than 3,000 square feet, so
No,
that doesn't,
1 times 14,
that doesn't
the
come into
main
play.
house
Yeah.
was
It says the ADU can't exceed.
What's what I
1,024.
come up with?
So it's almost gonna be as big as the main house.
588. The office was, how was the office?
Yeah,
120?
I'm reading
What's that?
where, under the law, that I'm new to the, I'm just reading what the law says as far as what the standards are in the code.
So you're
as
putting a
to-
storage area in as living space?
Yeah, because,
Why
yes,
is that?
because it's gonna
So
be
that-
part of the
that'll
living
put-
space,
That'll put
it's
us
part
over
of
to
it.
750 then, right?
It puts you at 882 square feet. When you finish that building, it's gonna be 882 square feet.
Not, the storage area is not gonna be living space. That's why it's called storage. In the office,
Well, you
it's
can
not
call
a
the
li-
whole building storage, doesn't mean it's not living space.
Even a
You
closet.
just change the name to storage and the whole building's storage. Right?
No.
Even a closet in a bedroom is considered storage, but it's still part of the living space.
So what's that got to do with? Don't make sense. Don't make sense. They come up with 588.
That's your first floor,
First floor is 588?
yeah? And your second floor is 294.
Really? 294 plus 120.
What's the 120?
I don't know where you're coming
So
up
they
with.
mean-
I don't know where the 120
Where is
is.
he coming up with 120?
There'll be 2 people staying there all the time, the 2 owners, Mr. and Mrs. Love.
I don't know.
And you said, we just want more family to visit and sleep over.
Right.
How many more?
Well, that doesn't.
Would be my son and his
And
family.
especially, I'm sorry, I missed,
It would be
Say myself.
5. 5 people. My son and his family is 5. My son, her family, we're all here in Massachusetts, okay? So it would be my son and his family, which would be Mrs. Love's brother, and his family, which is 3 children, and mother and father, and myself, so I'd be 6. And I sleep in the main building.
now, where are all these people gonna sleep?
That's why we're trying to get this addition. We have been squished into this log cabin. She wanted to make it so that we could not be on top of each other and share the fun that they very generously have given us in using the garage
But
for
the only thing-
bedrooms.
The only thing you're gonna have is 2 bedrooms up over the garage.
Right. And then downstairs we'll have, like you said, an open area. We have put a pool table in or whatever for us as a family to use.
Are people gonna be sleeping downstairs too?
No. No. I don't know. I mean, I sleep, when we're there, the kids sleep in double beds all together. They're little kids. They're all little kids.
They're gonna be big kids pretty soon, though.
Right, and then we'll switch it around. But we're not, I don't know what you're looking for. We're family. We hang out together. You know, I mean, the youngest one's a baby. I mean, she's not even born yet. So, I mean, I don't know where. I mean, she's probably gonna sleep with her parents for the next 5 years. I mean, I don't know. You know, I mean, you're asking me something I don't know. I know when we're there together, we all share that space that's in that cabin right now. That's what I know. We're planning and hoping that she's hoping that she could make it so it's a little bit more comfortable for us to stay at her cabin, which would be adding the rooms in that garage. Whoops, sorry. It's for nothing. It's really for nothing else. It's so that we can enjoy their good fortune in having that cabin. Really, that's what this is about. He needs a working space because he works from home all summer. A house, that log cabin with 3 kids and a dog, he can't do. in that house. He can't do it at the library because he's on webcam calls. He needs a space. So that's where the office comes into place. It can't be anything else because he has to have, he's an executive, a Capital One. He needs a professional office. It can't be anything else. You can't put a bed in there. You can't put, it's his office. Even in the home he lives in now.
But it's still
It's
gonna,
nothing.
am I correct,
I don't know if you
Karen?
could, is it,
Am I correct, Karen? It's still, the office is still included in the space, though, when we compute
how
area?
big is the office? The office ain't not much bigger than a closet, is it?
8 by 12.
The
8 by
office would
12.
be included in the
be
calculations,
included.
the storage
So that only comes
generally
up,
would not.
so that comes up to what, 674?
As, you know, if you go by how you've calculated it in the past and using that as a general rule of thumb, the storage, because it's a storage space, is not considered living space, it's not calculated in the total number of square feet.
So what is that, what do you come up with?
674.
Just back those numbers back out again.
This is not a garage. It becomes part of the living space.
Would be 684 square feet.
If it's an accessory dwelling unit.
So that's upstairs, the
That
two
includes
bedrooms upstairs.
The 2 bedrooms upstairs, the office, and the main, the
And the main
bathroom, the living,
downstairs
yeah, the
living
downstairs.
area.
Not inclusive of that storage space, which is 168 square feet.
What?
The main house has.
This is just the garage.
Technically, we'll go inside measurements. Only 20 feet by 13.
Measurements.
Can I ask a question?
Well, it's just,
Sure,
Are the stairs considered living space?
Yes.
yes.
Why, you can live on the stairs, sleep on the stairs?
Oh,
They're part of the
Part of the
building.
dwelling?
Part of the dwelling.
So we're going exterior measurements, right?
Yep.
So they're not actually living space measurements?
She convinced me to take the
Inside the
storage
building.
back out. So
Okay,
we took that out,
Thank
and
you.
well,
planning department says you got 684 square feet,
yep, that's what I came up with too.
okay?
Been nice to have written on the application.
All right.
So if I have any questions on far as the structure goes, I have to talk to who?
The physical
Code.
structure of the building official.
Yeah.
Downst-
did-
yeah,
you
same
guys down-
down-
you
same-
guys talk
just on
to-
the opposite side of the counter there, the
So
code
far as like
enforcement.
5H code and
so
all
the
that
main
stuff.
house-
Building official, yeah, he can answer that for you.
has two bathrooms, 3 bedrooms. That's not gonna be touched.
Do we have any other questions of the applicant at this time?
I,
No, no
I,
questions.
no. I
At
don't
this
think so.
time.
Not at this time.
not this time.
Okay, y'all can have a seat for a second.
I do have one question. You mentioned
I'm
that,
gonna open it back up again, so.
okay, but she mentioned they have beach rights. I was just curious. Does 17 McKinley have beach rights?
I looked at the deed, and it just said something about, it. I didn't do the title, sir. I just looked at the deed
Okay.
casually, just to see if there were any restrictions, and it said something about access to
They
water.
have a water access, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. yeah.
But I did not,
Yeah, no,
I
so- okay.
didn't search the title.
Well, when you said it, I was curious as to what you were
Because
looking.
that may have
looking at.
disappeared over time and may
Yeah.
have just been automatically included and not actually applied.
Okay.
With that, I'd like to open it up to the public and ask if anybody from the public wishes to speak for or against this application, please come forward. Introduce yourself for the record.
Howard Epstein, 97 Pendleton Road. My house sits 25 feet back from McKinley, across the street from the log cabin, okay? And there's only one log cabin I know, I don't know the address on it. Its water rights are down McKinley, not Plantation.
Okay, that's
Beach.
what I thought it was off.
Right,
McKinley,
that's
not
the first
Plantation.
comment I
Okay.
have. The second comment I have, I do not see how on earth they're gonna get all the crowding down there, okay? It is ridiculous. There are more people down on McKinley than you can shake a stick at, okay? The houses are so close together, it is ridiculous. I just don't see an addition there, okay? I mean, to me, I just don't see it. Just don't see it. There is a garage there, there's no question about that. To get 5 more people in there, I don't see how they're gonna get cars in the driveway, let alone, you know. I don't see 6 cars, let alone additional people. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else from the public wish to speak for or against this application, please come forward at this time and introduce yourself for the record. Let the record indicate no one else from the public wish to speak for or against this application. I bring it back to the board.
Can I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
We don't plan on living there, and we're talking about weekend.
Please come to the podium.
The extra people isn't for living there, it's for like weekends, we're there anyway.
You've already been?
We've been there. We're not adding more people that haven't already been there. Or cars or whatever, it's the same. We're just looking for more bedroom space so we can spread out and be more comfortable. We're not adding more people.
And again, that's for you.
Yes, my,
But if and when that home is sold, it is sold now with an accessory dwelling unit, and it could be additional people beyond those living in the home. So that's one thing that the board does have to take into consideration. For example, a family could move in and live in the main house and then have, for example, use the ADU as an in-law apartment or some other relatives living in it, so that there would actually be extra people in addition to the family or the people, residents living in the home. So I'm just saying, that's, for you, it's no increase in the number of people because you're
Right.
cramming her all in there now, but the board has to look at it down the
Tomorrow.
road and what exactly.
new
What may
owners.
happen if your family sells it to someone else. So that's just one of the things that
all
we
right,
have
yeah,
to
there is room in that driveway. There is.
Well, that's
but-
not what that's not
Okay,
what
all right.
that's not
Okay.
the issue that I'm addressing right now. I'm saying that, say 10 years, 15 years in the future,
Hmm?
your family sells.
2 years.
2 years, or your family sells. Now you've got a home that could have X number of people in it, 5, 6 people in it, plus you now have an accessory dwelling unit that goes with that home, and you've got 2 more bedrooms, and you've got those people in it, so that it could be an increase in the number of people living on that lot. So that's what the board, one of the things the board has to consider.
Okay, okay.
Even though with your family, it may not
No,
increase
but
the number.
but I guess what I'm curious about is if that's the case. I mean, there's people that have basements in those houses that could do this, that could do the same
And
thing.
if they did that and made an accessory dwelling unit in the basement, we'd be looking at the same thing. We'd be saying the same.
You know, they could
the
do it
same-
without, yeah.
We would be saying the same thing to them, is that when the board considers this, that's one of the factors that we have to take into consideration.
All right, I mean, yeah, I'm just saying you can't control. Somebody has a basement, they bring
Well,
their family in, they're not,
That's why
yeah.
the chairman was.
And usually that
including the-
arises when either a neighbor gets upset and reports it, or they go to sell it and we find out they have an illegal
They-
thing, and either way, they end up standing where you are.
I'm just trying.
And in some cases, if they don't get their thing, they end up having to tear out their whole expense of what they
Right,
spent.
no, I'm just asking because I understand where you're coming from, I was just trying to understand, you know, I've been on that street for 2 years, I just was just curious as to, most of those houses have been there all this time, so I was just curious.
Any other questions?
What, the percentage of lot coverage with buildings versus green area, are we exceeding that if we granted this?
Well, that's what they're asking for. The lot size is required to be 10,000 square feet, and the existing lot is 9,147 square feet, so they need variance in order to achieve that. And then the second part is the special exception to create the detached thing.
Well, then they're
Without
exceeding.
without the variance, the special exception is meaningless.
Is moot, yeah.
And they're also asking to exceed the 750 square foot limit.
No. It was
No, it's.
No, because-
600 and,
684 because we're
I-
taking the storage out.
I don't agree with that, though. You know,
And I-
stairways is living space, closets are living space, that they're considered interior, inside the walls of the building, it's living space, it's not.
okay. When we get to discussion, and believe me, I'm with you on that, but let's continue with questions of the applicant so that,
I'd like to ask a question, but not now. Finish your statement.
well, you may come up and ask one question and then,
Well, it's a comment, not a question.
and then it'll be done.
Yeah. I, as well, am concerned about the future when they sell this house, okay? Because now, all of a sudden, you've got a house that's capable of, you know, a rental unit or any number of things, okay? It's got this detached family unit. It could become an Airbnb for all I know.
They could do that already with their proper application. They could turn the log cabin into an Airbnb. So
Yeah.
the way the code is, that's, if that's passed already, and that's up to the city,
Being
not up to
considered.
us.
Yeah, I think it hasn't passed yet.
No, it has
though.
not passed
I
yet,
don't
no.
think so.
That's a separate issue into
Yeah.
itself, sir. Okay. So any other questions of the applicant?
I thought we were in discussion, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
No, I think we
We
finally
all
got.
good with
Yeah,
questions?
I think we finally got.
Okay. Any closing comments?
Just said, my daughter just wanted to say something. My daughter just wanted to say that this was just for family memories, and that she appreciates the time they're taking to listen to it. It had nothing to do with anything else but creating family memories for all of us.
Okay,
So, we thank you for your time.
thank you. With that, I'm gonna close it to the public. There'll be no more input from the public. We're gonna bring it to the board for discussion. Now's the time to discuss all this amongst us.
Well, I am remembering your, no, it's only storage, and poof, to the next thing we know, it's being used for something else.
Well,
And
unfortunately, for the
Is-
first application is the lot size requirement,
Yeah.
10,000 square feet, and the existing lot of 9,147 square feet. Okay, it's a variance, and it has to go through the 5 criteria and pass all 5 criteria. If any one of the 5 criteria is not met, then at that point, it leads us to further discussion.
correct.
Okay? So, the variance is not contrary to the public issue. Do we feel that it's in contrary to the public issue,
Public interest.
Interest.
public interest? Does the purpose conflict with implicit or explicit or implicit purpose of the ordinance and must not alter the essential character of the neighborhood, threaten public health or safety or welfare, or otherwise injure public rights? That's something we have to consider when we're discussing this. The spirit of the ordinance is observed substantial justice is done. The values of the surrounding properties are not diminished by approving. This is approving if it was to be approved. And then the next would be the hardship. What on this piece of property is different than any other piece of property that makes it a hardship?
I think from my understanding in that, to that question, is this is already a non-conforming lot. Is that correct, Karen?
But
It's
you're
less than-
asking to make it even more non-conforming.
That's-
And you're creating,
I'm not arguing with you, I just wanted to get on the record that this, as it sits right now with what's on this lot, it is already non-conforming.
It's a legal non-conforming lot because it's less than 10,000 square feet.
Oh, you mean when the original house was built?
Yeah.
Well, the house was built long before zoning.
Okay, that answers my question, okay.
Most of these lots, a lot of these lots, I should say, were
Oh, yeah.
created. But most of the lots in here are small, but
Well, let's take them one by one. How's that sound?
just take it one by one.
Um,
Number one, values of surrounding property are not diminished. Is that your number one?
Well, no, I'm just starting at the beginning. Granting the variance would not be contrary to the public interest because I don't see where it's a conflict with the public interest by the standards that you just read out loud. That's just my opinion.
Does everybody agree with that?
does not alter
That it
the
would not be?
character of the neighborhood.
Well, don't forget, all 5 of these have to be met. You can pass on 4 and fail on 1 and still not get the variance. You don't have to agree, it doesn't have to be unilateral.
Mhm.
All 5 of these criteria must be met.
But it helps to shape a
Yeah.
motion.
Mhm.
And that's why the discussion
Yep.
is to help shape a motion. Okay, the spirit of the ordinance is observed by creating a more non-conforming lot. Is that,
See, to me, that's not in the spirit of the ordinance, where it's not essential that the existing nonconformity be increased. I mean, if
and you're causing it to be even more
you're making
non-conforming.
it even more nonconforming, and it's not an essential need,
I think the spirit of the ordinance would require that they look at larger lots rather than smaller lots.
This is the lot they have. That's what I'm wrestling with. I mean, this is what it is.
Substantial justice is done. Depends on your viewpoint on the justice is done. If you approve it, is that providing justice? The benefit to the applicant should not be outweighed by the harm to the general public or to other individuals. Not a whole lot of discussion.
so it's,
I'm going to throw out an interesting, an idea. It says, under number 2, Mr. Lloyd says, yes, it would allow the use and enjoyment of our home for our family. If your family is growing, as this lady's indicated,
No, that's it.
and an alternative to putting an addition or adding living space to this property would be to sell that property and buy a bigger lot and house. So there are, there are alternatives. People do that all the time with growing families.
I will only say, as far as the spirit of the ordinance, is that the law in New Hampshire recently changed to specifically allow accessory dwelling units, and we changed our code with that. And that's what we have to keep in mind as we consider this.
We do, but it also has to meet all the other criteria
That's correct.
in order to have that happen. Just
right.
because they wave their magic wand doesn't mean that all other codes are thrown out the door.
I don't think it says anything about taking a smaller house and making it bigger so that you can have a Uber apartment. It talks about if you've got an apartment, a house that's already large enough to be able to do what you want to do with it, like having an Uber homes.
What
Or
do you
whatever.
mean, yeah, well,
So, then we move to hardship.
yeah, I don't see that diminishing the surrounding property values.
Well, that I don't think you can say one way or the other.
Yeah,
That's a
Really, you
moot point,
can't.
because there wasn't no evidence presented before, for or against, so
Yeah.
It
that's
just, that's completely subjective, and it can
so that one we all agree on.
could diminish values and nothing could be changed and values could be affected. So that, yes, but the only hardship is that it's a small lot with a big family. Really, I mean, that's
Yeah.
the
No, I
only
agree.
hardship. And most of the lots there are small lots or they've gotten multiple lots and merged them. And I'm
But
not
that's
sure.
not a reason
Well, that's
to-
what I was just gonna say, that I'm not sure that to me is a sufficient hardship, proves hardship.
well, I'm gonna say, my only real concern with this, and I'm gonna go in a completely different direction, and you alluded to it earlier, Ori, is the office, because it's really a third bedroom.
And it may not be for them,
And
But
and
when
it
they
may be,
see-
yeah, they
when-
may fully intend and use it as an office, but the next person could see an
Come in and
8x10
say,
room as something to
"Now
put a
we-
baby in, or a small child in, or, I mean, we've
or
all.
you throw an air mattress down on the floor and you sleep in the office while it's
Or you
motorcycle
finish
weekend.
off the storage area and it becomes,
Yeah, that's really my only.
there is no input from the public, so please.
That's
Thank you.
that's my only concern, is
That
that
could be a bedroom.
it appears to me on the surface that despite what they wanna call it, there's a third bedroom in there, or potentially a third bedroom, and the accessory dwelling unit law specifically
In
calls
fact,
for
if you
two
did it right, you
bedrooms.
can have a door
But,
here.
No
all
more
right,
than
that's
two
under a special exception part where there's
Well, no, but-
discussion. But for the 10,000 square foot
Okay.
is what's under discussion, and whether it's a third, fourth, or fifth bedroom.
That's true.
At the moment.
That's true, okay, no, good point.
That's why I was trying to limit it to just this. So, once we can determine if we have a motion to do the variance,
Right.
then we can discuss the special exception for the.
Okay, all right, that's fair. I
Okay,
forgot there was a part B.
there's a part B.
Well, it's almost difficult to consider them
Separately,
separately, but
but we
I
have
can
to.
see, I can see the need that we need to.
Right.
Because if
Yep,
we say no to
okay.
the variance, the special exception is,
Moot point, but we would still have to vote on the.
we'd
on-
still have to vote on the variance.
Right. So, on the special exception,
So,
Well, okay,
unless they withdraw it.
okay, I see, yeah.
Okay, so we're back to the variance. I'm having a hard time reading the crowd here tonight.
Well, I'm just looking at the words now.
Are we done with the discussion for the variance?
Well, do we agree that the only hardship is the size of the lot?
That's really,
But
that's where I'm going,
but
yeah.
that's- And does that constitute sufficient?
Well, that's
Since
what
there's a
we have
house
to
that-
discuss, is
The size of the lot.
increasing,
Increasing the density and the nonconformity.
right. Because if we looked at it back on Baldwin Street, there was a case in point where we said, no, they want to turn the shed into
That's
an
right.
accessory
Yeah.
unit.
And we said
And it
no.
was due to density and stuff like that. That was discussed, and,
Oh, I do remember that one.
yeah,
I was around for that one.
yeah.
That was a while ago, but that was after, before the new law passed.
But they wanted the accessory unit to turn that into another apartment.
Mhm.
But the density fell through because of the size. So, all right, need a motion for,
I'll give it a whirl. I make a motion that we approve variance for zoning board application 02019-0028, Wendy and Bobby Love. Granting the variance would not be contrary to the public interest, not for the reasons that are stated here, but it's not going to be contrary to the public interest. I don't see how this is contrary to the public interest. We're putting a small addition onto a space on an already non-conforming lot. If the variance were granted, the spirit of the ordinance would be observed. I agree that this is in the spirit of the ordinance, because the only thing we have here to consider in this application is lot size. Okay? The spirit of the ordinance indicates that it's a residential lot, and the ordinance allows for accessory dwelling units. Granting the variance would do substantial justice, because, to me, it fits within the scope of the accessory dwelling unit statute. If the variance were granted, the values of the surrounding property would not be diminished, because they won't, I don't see it having a deleterious effect on the rest of the properties. And the unnecessary hardship is that the lot is undersized, and the total excess of the both buildings is going to be about 1/10 of the size of the lot. If the lot is 8,000 or 9,000 square feet, they're looking for about 1/10 of the additional ground space to be used.
okay, we have.
Oh, it was subject to everything I said is subject, obviously, to the standard building permits,
Building- yeah, it does
inspection,
abrogate that
you know,
responsibility.
everything like that.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it for the sake of.
We have a second.
Okay.
Discussion of the motion? All those in favor of the motion? 1 for. All those against the motion? 4 against. The motion fails. We need another motion for, because I think you have to motion.
Special exception.
No, do we have to make a motion to deny, or just because it
No,
fails?
it failed, then therefore that's it. The motion to approve failed.
Okay. All right.
I mean, you can if you'd like to for housekeeping, but
The,
state some reasons.
no, we'll just leave it as is. special exception, applicant requests special exception.
I think procedurally, this is, without the variance, then the special
They can't do
exception. Yeah, they can't do it.
You can give them the option to withdraw, because they could technically resubmit for an attached accessory
Right.
dwelling
Okay.
unit.
Well, yeah,
So,
Yeah,
do you want to, your variance failed, so you would not be able to build your additional unit. So we can have two choices. We can proceed and vote on your special exception for the extra unit, which you would not be able, under the current circumstances, build, or you can withdraw it. And that'll give you the ability to look at another method or something, working with the planning department or something. But if we vote on it, then that direction would be taken off the table altogether, so. I think that would be a wise choice. But I can't make that choice for you. So you want to withdraw it? Okay. Let the records indicate they chose to withdraw. And you can work with planning and see if there's another direction. Okay?
What other plan can we submit that you guys will accept?
I can't answer that question. That's up for y'all to, we just look at the stuff before us. We don't design. Okay? All right.
Can I have my plan back?
I have a copy, so he can have that back.
Yeah.
Because I do have a copy for the file.
okay.
And there's that.
One question I gotta ask, what is the big deal on the bedroom?
Oh, but the law, because the law states that no more than 2
City water,
bedrooms.
city sewer,
It's what the law states.
Call my office tomorrow, we can go over the
5
options.
bedrooms on the property.
Well, it doesn't matter.
I was looking for a business card.
Just put
Okay,
an ADU.
next on the agenda. There was a discussion of election of a vice chair, and it's up to the board whether they, since there's only 3, what's the correct word, full-time?
Full members?
Full
Regular
members.
members?
Permanent members?
Permanent members?
Yes.
Like, what do they?
Nothing is permanent, right? Except for
Regular, I
variance.
Usually alternates
Regulars.
aren't considered for positions like that. So do y'all want to go ahead and vote for a vice chair tonight? Or, and I'm talking to the 3 of us mainly, or would y'all want to wait and see if we have another full-time?
Well,
Technically,
why
we
don't we
have
Position.
regular members, because you have Mike, so he's just not here tonight.
He's not here tonight.
We could wait until.
Make him the vice chair.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
not
that's
here.
really-
actually
There
not a
you
bad
go,
idea.
there you go, we vote Mike. We could wait until we have,
That'll teach
until
him to
you get
listen.
seated,
Well, if I get
if
seated.
you, and I'm sure you will.
Well, there may be somebody else that wants to be
Well.
seated.
We'll see.
We need
But-
more than you anyway.
Well, you do,
Another
but I
full
mean, as a
member
vote, as a
seated.
full voting member
Yeah.
is what she's saying.
Yeah.
Having another full regular
Just for
member
these purposes only, yeah.
present, so that we have all of the regular members present before we vote. That's my thought.
Let me ask you a question, Mr. Chair, and again, I'm not gonna vote on this, whether a motion is made or not. But is there anything, in your opinion, that's not getting done because there is no vice chair / secretary of the board?
Well, the secretary and chair was done the way it was done because of the individual.
Okay,
It wasn't any other reason other than the individual who had the abilities to make sure all the i's were dotted and the t's were crossed. She was very good at doing that.
very
So,
much missed.
so that's why that was a joint position.
Yeah.
There was no reason other than that. It used to be
Okay,
separate positions.
well, I think my only concern, and I'll leave this to the 3 of you, is, in the unlikely event, but it could happen, that you are unable to make a meeting, we do not have a designated person to chair the meeting.
That's correct, and
And
that's what I was
that's,
gonna
and that
be.
is probably, we could nominate a vice chair and then hold on the secretary position. And once we have a full board, make a decision going forward at that time as to whether or not we want to continue to combine the vice chair and the secretary or not.
Yes,
But,
Chris.
but designating a vice chair as someone who can actually conduct the meeting in the event that you're unable to make a meeting, until that happens, is my only concern. And then I will not, I'll leave it to the three of you full board members to discuss that.
So what do y'all two think?
Is there anyone here tonight who would volunteer to be vice chairman?
Yes, okay. We could have a vice chairman pro tem. Okay.
You can't ever be out.
And you may never,
You may never miss a
you may
meeting.
never be out.
I've only been out once.
That's true. Well, I mean,
Long
I
time.
think
I
Suzanne
broke
had.
my leg, I couldn't
And
get up
actually,
here.
Suzanne chaired over the 10 years, I think maybe 2 meetings that I've been
Yeah,
at. So,
well,
yeah.
again, I'm not saying you
I
must do
would,
it.
yes, I would do it
So
in
Roland?
the off chance. I would volunteer.
Okay.
You agree that she can be the vice chair?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Okay.
I agree, so there's a
Thank you.
3, that's a quorum, so,
Okay.
so be it. And we'll carry the secretary open until,
When it exactly is.
a later date. Any other business before the board?
You have your 2020 meeting schedule.
Move we adjourn?
Yes.
Yes, yes, did get that.
Yeah, I found mine by accident.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Move
almost,
we adjourn?
Second?
All those in favor? Good night.
How come we didn't have television
Thank you.
tonight?
You did.
It wasn't on here?
Oh, this monitor we've been having issues with, but it is on.
It's a special meeting.